I ate pork, vegetable, rice, and some milk for lunch today. This is where I got my energy. Where did you get your energy today? Or what did you eat for lunch today? Daniel? Rice and salmon. Lucky boy. How about you, Kevin? All right. I'm not sure what that is. How about you guys? Tanya, Rebecca, what did you eat for lunch today?
Fried rice.
Fried rice. Now, fried rice, is that an animal or a plant?
No.
Which one is it?
Plant.
It's a plant. Sure. I ate plant today. I ate an animal. I ate pig. Now, Kevin, today we're learning about something called flow of energy. Now, before we talk about this today, flow of energy. Energy comes in different forms. Here's an outlet right here. We have electrical energy. Can you tell me some other kinds of energy that you know? That would be electrical. Well, no, you're right. That would be radiant energy. Hot and cold are a form of energy. The sun is radiant energy. How about atomic energy? Nuclear energy. Okay.
How about the wind?
Well, here's a list. That would be mechanical energy, things that move. We have radiant energy, like hot and cold. Sound is a form of energy. Then we have chemical energy. Yeah, absolutely. So the food that we eat is a form of chemical energy. But now this word flow of energy. Can you think of some things that flow? Daniel? Wind flows. Yes, it does. Air flows. And water flows. Well, we're going to learn something today about the flow of energy in the food that we eat. The chemical energy from the food. Take a look at this. These kids are eating. What are they eating for lunch today?
Apple, fried chicken.
Fried chicken,
No,
sure.
watermelon.
I ate pork today. Did anyone eat pork today? Well, I did. This is me, and here's a pig. Okay? Now, what did that pig eat for lunch? What do you think?
I think carrots.
Something like this. But the idea is that it ate a plant or a vegetable. Probably ate corn. Now, all living things need food. We talked about that. All living things grow, moves, and it needs food. Now, what kind of food, or how does this grass get its energy? What do you think, Kevin? How does this grass get its energy to grow? Well, does this give you any ideas? The sun. Okay. Well, for this plant to get energy, it needs something we're going to talk about right now. Photosynthesis, which uses carbon dioxide from the air, water from roots in the earth and the air as well, and sunlight. All of that happens inside the chloroplast. But I want you to look at these arrows. Here's an arrow from the sun to the grass. What do you think that arrow means in relation to energy? Come on, you got it right there. What is moving along the arrow? Sunlight. And what can we call sunlight? Energy. Okay? The sun is a big ball of energy, and the light shoot beaming right on the earth is called UV light. It's radiant with energy. Okay? So that energy is flowing from the sun to the grass. Well, here's another arrow. Where is that energy arrow going now? To the pig. When the pig eats the grass, that energy moves right. That's right. Right into the pig. So, here's another arrow. What is this energy arrow doing?
Pig goes to the pig.
Yeah, so the energy from the grass goes to the pig, goes to me eating my lunch. And here's Pam eating her apples. Okay? So this is what we call flow of energy. And there's another word for this. Food chain. The food chain. Do you know a chain with links like this? Okay. So this is what we call the food chain. And this is what we're going to learn about today. We're going to make a food chain in our science journal. And then you guys are going to go home, investigate an ecosystem in Thailand, and make a food chain at home. So let's get started a little bit here. This plant, beautiful plant. Who can read the question? Who would like to read the question? Tracy?
How does this plant get energy to grow?
How do we answer this question? The sun, and a little bit more.
Water and carbon dioxide.
Yes. And sunlight. Now, all of these things we're talking about have a name. It's a verb, it's a process. What do you think that word is? The name of that process of the carbon dioxide, the water, the sunlight, the chloroplast? Photosynthesis. Okay, photosynthesis. The word photo is an old Greek word for light. Synthesis means for two things to happen. So here's a picture of photosynthesis. The sun, carbon dioxide in water. Plants take carbon dioxide from the air, water from the earth. Photosynthesis happens, and where does it happen? What is that? Yes, Dan. A chloroplast. So this happens inside a plant cell. And specifically inside the chloroplast. And when photosynthesis occurs, two things are produced. One is glucose. We talked about glucose. Do you remember what glucose is?
Yes.
Sugar. Yes. It's like a sugar, plant sugar. Okay? And the other thing that we get from photosynthesis is oxygen. Now, I want you to see what we're going to do today. Part of our learning objective is to learn to identify producers, consumers, and decomposers. This is what we're going to learn about today. So this word producers, plants produce their own energy. We call them producers. Yeah, with the sun. So here, producers, organisms that produce their own food. I'd like you to write this definition in your journal. So take a moment just to write producers. Take a look at this rabbit. Is this rabbit a producer?
No.
What is he doing? Eating grass. Yeah, so how does this rabbit get energy to grow? Eating the producers. We could call this rabbit a consumer. The rabbit is consuming the energy from the grass. Where did the grass get the energy? From the sun, sure. Now, oh no! How does this, do you know what animal this is? Fox. How does this good old fox get energy to grow? And how does the rabbit get energy? It eats grass. Now that very nice fox. Oh, what happened? Now, that is a hawk. How does that hawk get energy to grow? It's the fox. Well, all animals need to eat. Remember, all organisms need food. Okay. Okay, so next, I want to ask you about the hawk, or any animal. So what happens to the hawk, or the pig, or the tree when it dies? Yeah. So what happens to plants and animals when they die? Something has to take place. Bingo, Kevin. Decomposers. Okay? Now look at this page. Here's the pig. Maybe 3 weeks later, the pig is gone. It's not there. Animals didn't eat it. There's another organism that we're going to learn about today. Decomposers. Decomposers break down dead things. We need them in our world. Okay, if we didn't have decomposers to break down dead things, there would be dead things laying around everywhere. Yes? Bacteria? Let's name some right now. So, do you like this one too?
No, I hate it. It's
Alright,
so
we don't like magnets. But what would the world be without magnets? We need them to break down dead things. So, kids, again, this is what we looked at today. We call this the flow of energy. And it's also called the food chain. What do these arrows represent? The flow of energy. You could call these energy arrows. The energy from the sun is going where? To the plant. The plant's energy goes to the rabbit, to the fox, to the hawk, and to the decomposers. And the decomposers put it right back into the earth where it goes whoop, right back to the plants again. Plants need this to grow. Without this, we would not have this. And without this, we wouldn't have anything. So this is a cycle of life, matter and energy. Now, we're going to play a little game. Here we have producers, consumers, decomposers. We're going to look out the window into the schoolyard and look for organisms from each of these groups. If we don't see them, we can just imagine. Okay? We can just imagine. So let's all stand up and walk over to the window, look outside, and I want you to name any organisms that you see, or you can imagine that are in this group. Tell me what they are, and I will write them. A bird. Wait, so Daniel, where would I put a bird? Where would I put a bird here? Consumers, good job. Great. Well, what we're going to do now is go back to our tables, go to your science journal. I'm going to have Daniel and Kevin work together. Let's have you three work together. What we're going to do in our journals is make a food chain. And I'm going to help you. Remember that our food chain usually always starts with a producer. Okay? Start with a producer. The energy from the producer goes to a consumer. So, wait. Grass. So Kevin, we're actually going to make a food chain for the schoolyard here. So the grass outside. What things might be getting their energy from the grass that we saw? Here's our list of things here. Okay, great. Put insects. And the energy from the insects. What other consumer is that going to? Great, birds. Okay, so your food chains look great. Beautiful. Questions? This week we have a project to work on. I want to make sure, does everyone have Wi-Fi at home? Okay. And a tablet or a laptop or PC to use? Personal computer. Like a large computer with a tower. Okay. What we're going to do this week, we're going to do a project about endangered animals in Thailand. Do you know what an endangered animal is? Definitely not mosquitoes. An endangered animal is an animal species that are very few. There are not many left. Something, for some reason, interrupted the population growth of that animal. One very good example is the gray wolf. Okay? Thailand has many, many endangered animals. Now we have a project to work on. It's a food chain project about an endangered animal in Thailand. I've set up a classroom in Seesaw. This is a description of how you can get into my Seesaw classroom. And you go to the website, you click on log in, and then you would click on I'm a student. The description is right here on the paper. When you get there, now here's a link to the website where I've created a classroom for us. We can do all of our work in this classroom. Here is the website address. You just type in seesaw.me. So basically, again, click on log in. It will ask you for the password. Enter your password, and a window will open up. It will look like this. So what is the next thing on the instructions? Number 5.
Click on inbox.
Okay, let's try it. So this is what your laptop or tablet will look like. When we click on inbox, oh, you've got mail. There's a description of our project for this week. So this week, you will research how different organisms get energy, and you will draw a food chain. You're only going to draw it in your science journal this week. And number 2, so go to a website. Are you familiar with Wikipedia? A little bit, maybe? Okay, this is a trusted online resource for information. So you click on this, click on the website address that I've given you. Let's click on it now. Bam, it takes you to Wikipedia. This is a list of endangered animals in Thailand. So what you're going to do in your project today is find an endangered animal and make a food chain just like this one around that endangered animal. So here's a list of, I think there's like 18 endangered animals. Well, we want to make a food chain and know where are they getting their energy from and where is the energy from their bodies going. So let's click on one of these and choose anything. Do you guys want to move your chairs over here? Come, sit with me at the laptop. And you can see from back there too. Or how about we choose? I don't think I want to choose that one. Let's choose this crane, okay? So here's the Sarah's crane. We want to know what the crane eats. Well, here's a list. When you start to read, you'll find out all of the food that is in the crane's diet, and you can start to build a food chain. I started to make one here for the Sarah's crane. Okay? So your food chain is going to look like this. You can do it right on paper. It's not difficult. Remember, you can just draw circles like this. All right. So let's put the Sarah's crane